Hello everyone. Walter K here, obviously. Uh, it's been a while that I wanted to sort of do an update video like this about the projects I've looked at in the deep dive videos, particularly. And I've always been looking for a good reason and a good time to do it, and I guess I have both because a good reason showed up a month ago, and a good time, well, it's at the end of the year, and I'm about to change things up a little bit on the channel as we go into 2024. So, good a time as any. Since I've started doing this YouTube thing, and I started off and sort of continue doing things in relation to old IDUBS content, both in the form of the deep dives and the Kickstarter series I'm doing currently, um, some stuff has sort of stuck with me and has made me think, and whatever you feel is the case with IDUBS currently, whether you approve of the changes he's going through as a person and as a content creator, or whether or not you just hate it, despise everything that's going on, that you genuinely think that he's the person he was railing against before, whatever the case might be. I mean, personally, I'm happy for him that he's seems to be more himself and is making content doesn't make him feel like shit. But also at the same time, it's admittedly content that I'm less interested, so I haven't been watching a lot of it. However, you see all of that and that entire situation, one thing that has stuck with me that I think is pretty universally true is that a big issue was the way he dealt with his community, the way he interacted with his community, in this sort of way where there was very rarely a moment of genuine heart-to-heart interaction. There was very rarely a time where whatever he was saying wasn't dripping with sarcasm and irony. And I understand why, especially the longer he did YouTube, the more, the further along he went with his career. I mean, just remember the way things went with Joji when he tried to do a out of character video talking about his genuine health issues and mental issues and problems he was going through, in large part because of his filthy Frank persona. And that video had to be deleted because people were being assholes to him and harassing him because he broke that character and because he seemed they thought he was like complaining about being famous on YouTube or something. Um, yeah, I understand why that never happened, and the reality is that one thing I want to do for sure is have these sorts of videos fairly frequently and talk pretty openly about stuff so I never reach a point where my community is growing in a direction that is very obviously different than the direction I'm going in myself. To sort of explain what I'm talking about here, about a month ago, I got a message, or rather a comment on one of my YouTube videos or posts. I think it was a post, I don't remember now, and it doesn't matter, the comment's been removed. The person that left the comment was saying that they personally knew the people behind Hilixxia, and wanted to contact me if I was interested in some additional information and so on. And obviously I was, and I told them to, get in touch with me, and they did later on Instagram. Before I move forward here, I will make it perfectly clear that I do not want to reveal any personal information about the person who gave me this information, the person who contacted me, for a multitude of reasons. I can only say the reasons why I believe them in the moment, but essentially, because they know the people involved with Hilixxia personally, to reveal who they are would essentially be doxing them, and I don't approve of that. It's not like revealing who this person is going to make it any more or less believable to you as a viewer. I mean, not like having a name and face attached to any of this information would make it any more credible. If they were lying to me for some reason, they would still be lying to me. Meanwhile, if they are 100% telling all the entire truth, revealing their identity is obviously a problem. I'm also not going to be revealing a lot of the intimate details that this person gave me, because again, that's a bit too much. However, I will say that I am very highly inclined to believe what they were telling me, and then there are several reasons for that. One is that they sort of approached me on their own accord, and the stuff that they told me at least made sense. And I could tell that they could be in the same communities as the people involved. Two, it's that they actually provided information that both matched what I had already shown in the videos, but also matched up with things I didn't mention in the videos, like some details from her more personal accounts that's just added up with what this person was telling me. And finally, they shared some photos with me, which were just sort of the final confirmation that this was all legitimate, so seemed, because these photos were taken by the people involved with Hilixxia, but were not publicly available anywhere. These were personal photos that showed that they had some personal connection with these people. And there's quite a lot to get through, even without me explaining any personal details, but the first thing I want to say is quite interesting, and that is that Sonia has actually seen my deep dive on Hilixxia. I assume that she has seen the iDubbbz video, and I suppose I have to assume now that she follows along anything that relates to her online. So she saw that video as well. I kind of have to assume that she's going to see this video as well, in which case, hi, hello, Sonia. Like I said, don't worry, I'm not going to reveal anything too personal about you. I'm not going to also be, I don't know, stirring up drama or whatever. But there are some things I want to tell you, so I would appreciate it if you are watching this video, that you continue to watch it. Some stuff sort of comes first, though, which is that there isn't as much information I can give about Raul without giving away too much, and it's pretty clear that Raul has sort of scrubbed the internet clean of his presence to a certain degree, and it is hard to find him. But it seems that he has moved on with another family. He has children, and he's quite happy. He's apparently a doctor. The other woman he's married is like working in the same hospital or something. So for those who were curious about what happened to Raul specifically, well, that's sort of the start and end of that story. He seems to be doing just fine and doesn't want much to do with the Hilixxia stuff anymore. And what I want to talk about when it comes to Sonia is that obviously the project, when people saw it, was very silly and people had their own assumptions. Some of those assumptions were proven true, as I shown in the video, and was confirmed by this person. Others were, just random things people were saying that were nonsense, as they usually do when they see this kind of stuff on the internet. But the main point of my deep dives, well, there are 2 points. One point is obviously to see where the people went after the project, and where they might be now, which, by the way, again, we'll get to the other people besides Hilixxia in a moment. And the other purpose, of course, is to look at who these people were before and during the project, and like what made them do it, and what was their whole deal. Again, I don't want to reveal too much, but I do feel like it is worth giving the people who are curious about these projects a bit more context about who Sonia is, and how that project came to be, and why it was the way it was. Because one thing that I absolutely want to ensure with all of my content is that I put out the message that these are human beings. These are people that might have made something silly on their internet. They might have had a lack of foresight. They might have asked online for money that they didn't deserve to get. But to be fair, in most circumstances, they didn't get it anyway. Out of the projects I've looked at, the exception is pretty much just Ryan Grepper with the coolest. And even then, there's a story behind how exactly all of it fell apart, where sure, Ryan's to blame, but it's not really malice, it's more so him being an idiot. But the thing is, Sonia had reasons for creating Hilixxia, or rather making Raul create Hilixxia. Sonia had reasons for what she's done since, what she's doing now, which, from what I understand, is not very good for her health or mental state or anything. Apparently, she had somewhat of a rough upbringing that, again, I don't want to give any details of, in part because, again, it's personal, and in part because I can't verify or any of this information. At this point, I would like to say that if Sonia, if you really are watching this stuff, and if there's something specific you want to say or want me to not say, I suppose, that you're free to contact me. You can contact me again on Instagram, on Twitter, or email, or whatever. Same goes to anyone else I've looked at in any of my videos that comes across them. But she had somewhat of a rough upbringing in the Czech Republic, and, well, her ultimate goal was to get out of there to, well, America. And she did, and when she got here, she met with Raul, they got married, and obviously Raul did care pretty deeply for Sonia, and, I mean, it's not entirely clear how much that was reciprocated, but, well, we know where it ultimately led down. It seems that Hilixxia came as a sort of ultimatum to Raul. Whether or not they would stay together relied on whether or not Raul would create this project, which again it explains why, after its failure, they would split apart. Sonia has this, I suppose, entrepreneurial spirit, in a sense, and a lot of ambition. She clearly wants to be rich and successful and prominent, through whatever means necessary. And some of those means are, again, kind of silly. Hilixxia was a silly idea at the time, but then again, less than a decade later, we got NFTs, and let's be real, NFTs are probably even stupider than anything in Hilixxia was. I'm pretty sure in Hilixxia you could at least download the goddamn images. You didn't need to rely on them being linked on a fucking blockchain. But since then, she has moved on to different pursuits, although not fully committing to any of them, because I suppose there are some aspects of technology that she isn't as savvy with. Again, Hilixxia kind of showed that, where she hasn't really fully gone into the whole NFT thing. I suppose she's expecting people to message her on Instagram about purchasing the NFTs, but I will point out that I believe I did email her or message her somewhere about that when I was researching the project and got no response. I don't know if she sussed out that I was not really interested in them genuinely, or if she didn't really have a plan to move forward with after someone got interested in that, or equally possible that that message just got lost somewhere in spam folder or something. And now her main focus, as pointed out by this person that messaged me, and that I could quite easily confirm by looking at her follows and followed accounts and accounts that follow her on Instagram, is that she seems to be interested in getting in touch with someone rich in the Middle East, in Dubai or Qatar, something like that, and getting married and moving there. In fact, the person that messaged me suggested me two options for getting in touch with Sonia in the first place, and one of them was to pretend to be a some kind of Saudi prince or something, and I did actually briefly consider that. It wouldn't be that difficult to set up a fake Instagram profile and upload some images now and again, and sort of fool Sonia into thinking I'm one of these people. But the thing is, I don't want to set a precedent for myself. I don't want to make it that I get in touch with the people in these projects in a underhanded way. Doesn't seem right to me. I don't think it would improve my content in any meaningful capacity to do so. It would work much better to contact them and talk to them in the way I have already talked with Sean Andre, Cqaffeine, just an open discussion that can lead to some productive results or something. And the same is open to Sonya, obviously. That's sort of the main stuff I wanted to say, and as I just wanted to say all of this as a reminder that, again, the person behind the project is still a person no matter what. You shouldn't go out of your way to harass them. Certainly not a decade on, but I suppose most people that watch my videos have gathered at least that that is my take on the matter. It's just, there's not really a point to harassing people that long, and not really a point to do it in the first place. Their projects already failed. What else do they really need to happen? Moving on, I do want to give some other updates. Now, the rest of these updates are significantly less impactful, but I still want to sort of talk about them, bring you guys up to speed if you haven't been following along all of these different people and different projects, which is entirely reasonable. Now, I'm going to start with the one that is obviously the most popular on the channel, and I mean, it makes sense, and it also makes sense that I would start by updating you on this, although there isn't that much to update on. And of course, I'm talking about Leusick Diamond Eyes. Lucas hasn't been very active. He has uploaded a couple of short videos and some shorts, which again, of course, were quickly removed, and there's only a couple of edited pieces of shit on his channel currently. But he has not uploaded anything that I'm aware of in over a year now. The last stuff he's uploaded has been in, I believe, October or November of 2022. So he has been pretty inactive. However, I do still occasionally get comments on the video from people from Boise, Idaho, who have interacted with him, who know him personally, who have known him in the past. And it seems that he is still around. He's still homeless. I'm not quite sure what was the case with the stream he did that I had the stream watch along of, where he seemed to have been cleaned up and staying in this apartment or hotel room. Not sure what the case was there, because he has gone back to being a scruffy homeless man. He has this Schrodinger's car, which is simultaneously like taken away from him and impounded, but also still relevant because he can't afford gas for it to go anywhere. I don't know where he wants to go. He talks about applying for jobs and being rejected all the time, and I'm not sure what the case is with that. I can see both scenarios where he applies to jobs where he would just not belong and get rejected. And also just regular day-to-day jobs, some customer service or work in storage or whatever else, where he might come across as unhinged in an interview and get rejected. It's difficult to say, though, because he has expressed some serious disdain for 9-to-5 work and general labor, so I don't know, beats me. Ultimately, the clips he has uploaded of himself rambling with his phone in his hand serve mostly as a sign of his deteriorating mental health. That is the main issue to this day. He's clearly suffering. He's talks about going to the doctor quite often, and he is still convinced that there's some major conspiracy against him by the rich and by the elite to steal all his digital art technology and sell it as NFTs or something. I haven't run into any NFTs that utilize that digital art technology, nor does he provide any examples. And whenever he talks about his content being stolen, people needing to give him money, all I can think of is that the only person he has directly accused is the person behind the Leusick Diamond Eyes archive, who again has made no money. And the only other person I can think of that has repurposed and re-uploaded his content without his consent, I suppose, is me. So I suppose he's implying that we are rich 1% royalty people. I don't know what else to comment on that. I hope I hope against hope that he does manage to somehow get cleaned up, that he does find a job that takes him and just gets his shit together. Moving on to some lighter and more positive updates. I'm gonna say that I don't have updates on some people, like I don't really have anything new to say about Ryan or Pisces or Daddy Dada, I suppose. Most of them have either not really sent anything new, nothing new has become out about them. But from what I understand, there's no new developments in those projects. With Dayron, I can confirm that he is, at the very least, he's still around. He's fairly active on Twitter, but not by posting or even retweeting stuff. But you can check his likes. He's liking stuff pretty frequently, some tech stuff, some fashion stuff. So he's completely fine. He's just living life, I suppose. Yeah, he still has me blocked on Twitter, though, so that's not new. When it comes to Sean Andre, aka Cqaffeine, he did upload, after I uploaded the interview I did with him, he uploaded the reaction video to my deep dive on him. It bugged out slightly. He uploaded it twice, and both times there was an error in the video, but it's still there. And after that, I've been keeping in touch with him on and off on Instagram. But obviously he has a lot of stuff going on in his life. He did just get out of jail less than half a year ago. There's quite a lot that he has to deal with. So any slowness or lack of updates on the internet from him is the result of that. Just the result of his personal life getting in the way of that. And also, I will say, it struck me that despite the fact that he was only gone for like maybe a year, a lot of stuff went down without his being aware, obviously. Like, in order to keep in touch with him, I asked him about his Twitter, and he's like, yeah, he was going to get his accounts in order because he hasn't been on there in ages. And after a while, I messaged him again, hey, any news about the Twitter accounts? And he responds, oh yeah, I'm still looking into it, still figuring it out. It's kind of fucked him up that during the time he spent in jail, Twitter became X. I'm like, yeah, that happens. But I do think there is new stuff coming from him in the near future, just so you can stay tuned to that. His channel is, I think I can link it up here. I think I can do that. Try at least. And another update is on Gator, who is very, very close to hitting 10,000 subscribers. He has made that a goal. I mean, if you guys want to help him out and maybe get him there before the end of the year, that would be kind of pog. He has been doing his shorts daily for the entire year. He's been very consistent with that. I haven't been watching all of them, but they're just very short, obviously. Just quick jokes and gems from the mind of the Gator. They're alright, and he has also done a couple of longer videos talking about internet culture and the IDUP stuff, and they're good watches. He has some decent perspective as someone who has gone through the ringer when it comes to being a target by IDUBs in the past. And again, I've heard that he might be bringing back a certain series to the channel that you might want to check out. So again, I'm gonna be linking the channel if I can up here. So yeah, you can go give Gator a sub as well. Send him Walter sent ya, I guess. And that's kind of going to do it. Like I said, there weren't that many major updates to bring about. But since the opportunity presented itself, I felt like I had to give some. One more thing is an update about my channel. I am intending to do a sort of test stream before the end of the year to figure out if that's going to be working on YouTube the way I want it to. The plan is to just mess around a little bit and do a ranking of the deep dive characters, the Kickstarter Crab deep dive characters, and just hang out for a little bit, and then that's probably gonna be it. and hopefully I can get the documentary I've been talking about done at the first week of January. I'm not really aiming for end of the year anymore because I want to put quite a lot of effort into it. I have ideas for some pretty funny edits and skits inside of it that should be pretty neat. If you want to have a little sneak peek of the intro, although I might remake it, for that documentary, for the Illusion documentary, you can find it on the Discord server. Link is down in the description. And yeah, that's gonna be doing it for this video, so. Yeah.